It's now time to address Qanun, Law and Order of Life. Host Attorney AttorneyRBhandari from the law offices of AttorneyRBhandari and Sex and Settlements. On this set, Attorney Bhandari lays special emphasis on the difference between a will and a living will. Let's take a look.
Good afternoon. This is AttorneyRBhandari from Law Offices AttorneyRBhandari and Sex and Settlements. Welcome back to Qanun. Friends, this is your own segment, your questions, and we are trying to do the answers as far as we can do, as much as we can do. So please keep sending your questions and we will try to entertain each and every one of them. So let's start with another question on the same subject. We are talking about will and trust and the estate planning. The very important question that I would like to address now is that we have a notion, everybody knows about a will, but they also using wrong way of that living will and will. Living will is a separate document, will is a separate document. So we have to differentiate between them, because anytime somebody calls our office, they said, I want to prepare a living will. No, it's living will. Now let me describe what exactly both wills are. There are several kinds of wills. Let's put this way. One is a very simple will. One is a holographic will when you write down with hand. And there is a pour-in will, which is we use in the trust agreement. Then there is a living will. Now, a regular will is a will that you put your wishes that your assets should be distributed among your beneficiaries the way you want it. So that we call a simple will. That can be a lengthy, in detail, or it can be very simple. So, but we call a simple will. That doesn't mean that it's a 1 page or 2 page. It can be 10 pages, it can be 9 pages, 8 pages, but it is a will that is your wishes going to be carry on whatever the way you want after your death. Now, what is a living will? Living will is basically a medical will. In the regular will, your assets, like your financials, your real estate property, personal property, and other properties being addressed. As far as living will is concerned, in the living will, your wishes are contained, means that if I die after tomorrow or today, what I want, this way I want to be treated. My body should be treated this way, my medicine should be treated this way, I want my funeral this way, I want my cremation this way. All that related to your health or your body. That means that a living will is merely address only the body part, not any financial situation. Of course, financial situations are come in. Let's say that you can say that I want my funeral to be done at this particular place, and then I want to make sure that you pay each and every penny of that as expensive as you want. That is besides the point. But related to your health issues. So that is the big difference between a will and a living will. Now the next question I have, that is, must a will remain sealed until the time it is, let's put this way, we have seen in Hindi movies, and the Hindi movies there is a melodrama, it comes that a person dies, uski will aaj kholi jayegi, उसके देखते हैं किसको क्या मिलता है, वो सील थी, ये थी. That is a melodrama in Hindi movies most of the time, but this is not required. You don't have to seal that, you don't have to hide the will. It is your wishes. If I prepare a will today and I want to give a copy or the original to my kid, of course I can. Why not? I can also give that will or copy to the executor, who is executor named in the will. So that way, there should not be any dispute in future when I'm no more that there is a will and then it has been distributed copies to the beneficiary as well as executor, or you don't have to. Certain people, they don't want to disclose their wishes. They don't want to tell anybody how. They can say that to kids, look, I did prepare a will, my will is sitting here, safety box, my car, whatever the way you want it. So, but you don't have to seal it, hide it. And more importantly, most of the time people ask us question, is that will has to be recorded in the land record? No, you don't have to. It's up to you if you want to, because it becomes a public record anyway when you probate. If you want to make this public record beforehand, Of course you can do, but it's not required. It is required or may be required in India or other countries where they says that you have to have a proper will on the stamp paper and has to be recorded, so that way there's no dispute. But in America, no, I don't think so there's any state required for that matter. Now the next question I have, what happens to family property not listed in a trust if no will exists? Friends, it's a very important issue. It's a very, very good question. Is that when you have a will, your assets will be distributed after you die. That is, we already discussed before, it has to go to probate. Now the main ingredients or main purpose of the trust agreement is, or estate planning is, that you have to fund the trust. That means if I prepare a trust, I want to transfer the real estate properties, my bank accounts, my other assets to the trust. Means the trustee of the trust should be owner of those assets. If not, just think about that will, trust is a box. If you do not put anything in the box, there's nothing can be come out. You have to probate the way that you don't have a trust. So that means there's no use of making a trust if you do not fund the trust. That is a very important issue. I come across every single day people have trust sitting at their home. They don't know, nobody told them or they ignored it. They never fund the trust. Their real estate properties are in their own personal name, bank accounts in their personal name. That is not going to solve or resolve the issue the way you want to. So if you prepare the trust, make sure you fund the trust. Friends, that is it for today. Thank you so much. I'm taking a leave. Raja Bhandari, see you next time.